In today's video, we re-diving into some of the most shocking and real-life fast food disasters and workplace tragedies that actually happened. So let us get started. Story 1. The Buffalo Wild Wings chemical disaster, Burlington, Massachusetts. It was just after 5:30 p.m. at a Buffalo Wild Wings in Burlington, Massachusetts. The dinner rush was minutes away, and employees were scrambling to prep the floor, the food, and the restaurant. That's when a simple routine cleaning escalated into a complete catastrophe. Earlier that day, a worker had mopped the kitchen floor with a standard acid-based cleaner. Just a little later, another worker followed up with more mopping to prepare for the dinner rush. The issue was that this second worker used a chlorine bleach product. The two chemical cleaners clearly state that they should never be mixed, but the floor was already covered in both. On contact, the chemicals fused into a bubbling green explosion, creating a dangerous, foaming, toxic mixture that began pumping out lethal gas at high doses. The fumes spread instantly. Employees began coughing, their eyes burning, their lungs on fire. One by one, people ran for the exit, but the floor was already slick with danger. That's when the manager acted fast, grabbed a squeegee knot, thinking about himself, but only about his team and his customers. He ran out to the floor and began pushing the toxic sludge toward a drain, trying to contain it before more people got injured. Unfortunately, the fumes overwhelmed him. His chest tightened, his lungs burned, and within moments he collapsed. Coworkers and bystanders desperately tried to get him outside, but the fumes were too strong. By the time they reached him, it was too late. 13 people were hospitalized that day, and tragically, the only one who didn't make it out was the manager. Story 2. The Domino's gas line explosion, Harriman, Utah. Raised the roof. It was just another Saturday night in Harriman, Utah, a quiet suburb 30 minutes outside Salt Lake City. At a local Domino's, orders were taken, pizzas were baked, and both customers and employees alike conversed with each other. "Since I'm closing tonight, can I get the..." "Oh no, bro. Please. No. Please. No. Stop asking me. Just shut up and make pizzas. Mayo is so good, man. Just look, I got the 69 Diddy and Bopa Bopa. Badoa Booty. I also got you Miles, man. Just please, dude, I want to be on." "Oh, shut up. Your taste sucks. That's why your girl left you. Just make the pizzas." Amidst all the friendly banter, an SUV tangled in a 3-car accident veered off course and smashed directly into the Domino's pizza. And as if the crash itself wasn't bad enough, it ruptured a hidden gas line underneath the building. Within seconds, fire erupted. Bystanders watched in shock as flames consumed the vehicle. Inside, 2 people were trapped. That's when 2 courageous strangers risked their lives, pulling the driver and passenger out just minutes before the SUV was swallowed by fire. As firefighters rushed in, trying to control the blaze, the building exploded. The blast tore apart the Domino's, sending debris flying into the night sky and causing significant damage to the businesses next door, a Jimmy John's and a Supercuts. Miraculously, nobody was injured and everybody survived. Even the firefighters standing near the restaurant when it exploded managed to walk away unharmed. The Domino's, however, was reduced to rubble. What had been a neighborhood pizza joint became the epicenter of one of Harriman's most destructive accidents, the Mayo incident. Story 3. The Tina's Burritos Grinder tragedy, Vernon, California. It was just another night in Vernon, California, a strange industrial pocket just south of downtown Los Angeles. The kind of place with only a couple hundred residents, but sprawling with massive factories that keep the city supplied. One of those factories was Tina's Burritos, a plant that's been churning out frozen burritos for over 40 years, producing nearly 1 million burritos per day. But on this night, the factory floor turned into the scene of a nightmare. At around 9 p.m., a 19-year-old custodian was tasked with tending to the plant's massive meat grinder. Contraption was full of burrito meat and waiting to be cleaned. As expected by his job, he began climbing into the machine to clean it. But the grinder was not locked out, nor was it secure. It's still unclear whether an item fell and caused the machine to turn on, or if an employee accidentally tried to make another batch of burrito meat. But tragically, while the young man was inside the machine, it powered up and locked into place. He panicked, shouting for the machine to be turned off, but his cries went unheard. Once fully running, the grinder began working. His screams echoed across the factory floor, finally grasping the attention of workers who rushed to stop it. But by the time the machine shut down, there was nothing anyone could do. Paramedics and firefighters arrived, but the scene was unspeakable. The young man's fate was already sealed. Unfortunately, he was gone in a way too dreadful to describe. The plant shut down immediately. OSHA investigators arrived. First responders were faced with the grim task of recovering a process that nearly took an hour to complete. Story 4. The Subway Mayo Shooting Atlanta, Georgia. It was supposed to be just another quiet evening shift at a Subway near downtown Atlanta. The kind of Sunday where the streets slow down and customers trickle in for a late-night sandwich. Inside, 2 young employees were working, doing their jobs, making food, and chatting with regulars. As the customers sat down to enjoy their food, the door smashed open, and a very odd-looking man walked up to the counter to order a sandwich. What happened next would quickly turn everybody's night into a complete nightmare. With what seemed like an insignificant and easily resolvable issue, tensions began to rise. The disagreement, which could have ended with a simple solution, instead fed the customer's anger until it boiled over. Words turned into threats. Threats turned into physical escalation, and before anyone could react, the man pulled out a weapon. In seconds, fate was sealed. The 26-year-old woman immediately collapsed behind the counter, unfortunately unresponsive. Her 24-year-old coworker was also terribly struck, but they somehow clung to life. To make it worse, the victim's son was inside the store and witnessed all the horror unfold. Police later arrested the suspect, a 36-year-old man who lived just across the street. He was charged with multiple felonies and booked that same night. Investigators later revealed that the entire incident started simply because he thought there was too much mayo on his sandwich. Story 5. The McDonald's Electrocution, Lima, Peru. It was the early hours of a Sunday morning in Lima, Peru. At a McDonald's in the Pueblo Libre district, the kitchen crew was wrapping up another long, grueling shift. A 19-year-old woman and her 18-year-old boyfriend were finishing up the night. Both had plans to attend college, and they were saving up heavily to continue their studies. Fortunately, this night would end those dreams forever. According to police, the 19-year-old was cleaning a soda machine when it delivered a strong electric shock. Her body jolted violently, unable to handle the voltage. Gabriel, her boyfriend, panicked. Desperate to save her, he quickly dropped what he was doing and rushed in to help. The moment he touched her, the same current surged through him too. Sadly, it killed them both instantly. By the time emergency responders arrived, there was nothing they could do. Reports later surfaced that the young woman had complained about being forced to clean equipment without proper gloves or boots, while also being pushed into 12-hour shifts without adequate safety gear. Closing reflection. Life wasn't always like this. There was a time where we didn't have a Whataburger or McDonald's, but rather just nuts, berries, and whatever else we could find to eat that day. Nowadays, you have access to places like these for a quick meal if you're in a rush. Fast food is extremely unhealthy, and you should never make it a habit to eat it. But if you do find yourself at one of these stores, have patience with the employees. It's a grueling industry to work in. With no further ado, have a happy day. Clipper clipped. Remember, these stories are shared to teach important lessons and raise awareness. We do not encourage anyone to attempt these incidents. Always stay safe and make informed decisions. If you found this video informative, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more educational and cautionary stories.